Challenge 1, Adobe Photoshop, your warrior persona. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to make our digital warrior superhero. You need to open Photoshop, and to find Photoshop, click on the search tool at the bottom left corner, start typing photo, and you're looking for Adobe Photoshop CC 2018. Right click on it and pin to taskbar. You should now see the Photoshop logo at the bottom. Double click on that. Once Photoshop is opened, click on File, Open, and you need to find where you have saved your photo that you took in front of the green screen. I've now got my photo of Miss Tor open, and I'm going to work on her to turn her into a digital warrior superhero. Go to the Layers palette. Now my Layers palette isn't open, but I've got two ways of getting there. You can see there's Layers written here. I can click on that and that will open the Layers palette. Or I can go to Window at the top of the screen and make sure Layers is ticked there. It also offers me another shortcut of pushing F7 to get my Layers palette. I need to double click on the word background. You can see this layer has a padlock on it. That means I can't edit it. But after I double click on it and then click OK, the padlock's disappeared, and that now means I can edit this layer. On the left hand side of your screen you should see a toolbar. If you click and hold on the rectangle marquee tool, you can see there's a few other marquees to choose from. It offers you a shortcut of M. And now I can draw a rectangle around Miss Tor, ensuring there's only green on show. Go to the image drop down menu, click on crop. I need to use the magic wand tool now to delete my background, but to get rid of the rectangular marquee I do Ctrl D and it disappears. So over in the toolbar on the left again, the fourth tool down is the magic wand. If you click and hold on it, you've got a quick selection tool, or you've got a magic wand tool. I'm going to use the magic wand tool. If you click on anywhere that's green, you'll note that it selects an area of similar colour. To help add more to this, hold down the Shift key and click on another area, and you can see you can slowly build up areas of green. Another option is to right click and click on similar, and you can see it's edited there. I can also continue to hold the Shift key down and add these other areas to my selection. I can use the zoom tool and zoom right in close. Go back to the magic wand tool and click on these areas that are green. I can use the hand tool to pan around, and you can see Miss Tor has got some wispy bits of hair here. I'm not going to deal with those with the magic wand. I'm going to show you another alternative here. But with the magic wand tool selected, hold down the Shift key. I'm adding to my selection, and now I'm going to push delete, and you can see I've deleted most of my background. Ctrl D to deselect the marquee. We're now going to find the eraser tool, 11th tool down. Just click and hold it. Make sure you've got this top tool selected, the eraser tool, with a shortcut of V. I'm going to go back to the zoom tool, zoom right in, click on my eraser tool again. I can change the size of the eraser by using the slider here. You may wish to have a big eraser. I actually find it easier to work with a small eraser. It enables me to make more accurate selections. So I just use the eraser tool to go around and smooth out my edges. Use the hand tool to move up a little bit further. I'm going to take all these wispy bits off that show with the green through, so I'm going to quickly just erase those. Then trace around the ear, around the hair. Keep moving with the hand tool, go back to the eraser tool and gently create a smoother edge and less wispy hair. I can still see some green through there. I'm not too worried about that at this point. If I want to zoom out, I hold the Alt key down and use the zoom tool at the same time, and then I can go back to the pan tool or the hand tool and go back here. I'm going to use some magic wand again in this area here and hit delete, and under here and hit delete. Then I'm just going to check the rest of the image. A few more parts down here. I'm going to zoom in down here. Use the magic wand and hit delete. Then I'm going to use the eraser tool. You can see Control D and then use the eraser tool, just to smooth that edge out a bit more. And the eraser tool again. I don't want to take too much off to distort it. If you make a mistake, Control Z to undo. Use the hand tool again, zoom across to the other shoe and the other leg. Magic wand, click, delete, delete. Actually, I've taken too much off here. I'm going to Control Z to undo. That's not working. Control Alt Z to undo. Brings it back again. Control D to deselect. I'm going to click on a lighter green area and that gives me a much better marquee. I clicked on a dark green area before and that's what gave me the problem. So hit delete. I've got a smoother finish. Control D to deselect. I can go back to the eraser tool and do some smoothing if I want, without distorting too much. On the edge here, I'm going to zoom in a little more. I'm going to use the magic wand tool again and select on some of this darker green here, and then hit delete. Do a few more of these areas up here. Control D to deselect and then use the eraser tool and just run down. Control Z to undo. Run down that leg just to smooth it off. And eraser tool again. A quick way to manipulate to see the whole thing is if you go to Window and select Navigator, and you can use this slider here, and that enables you to zoom in and out quite quickly. So you can see I have quite a good image of Miss Tor. I've got a little bit of green up by her hair here, so I'm going to use the Navigator tool to get to that. Use the eraser tool and just erase those bits there. Go in around the ear, making sure I've got all of that done. Use my Navigator tool again, and I'm pretty happy with Miss Tor there. I think she looks really good, very powerful digital warrior in the making. File, save as. I'm going to call it Miss Tor Warrior. You're going to call yours your name, and you're going to save this file into your documents in a correctly labeled folder. We're now going to add some backgrounds. So you need to go to your Google Classroom and download and save a copy of the Blue Sky JPEG and the Red Cap PNG files. So I've already saved mine, so I'm going to go File, Open, and I want the Blue Sky file first, and you can see it here. So if I click on this tab here at the top and drag it away, I've got my Blue Sky file separately. Click on the Move tool, click on the Blue Sky picture, and then drag it onto the picture of you that you've just edited. you might get a warning come up. Just click OK. And you can see I've got a little image of blue sky there. Close the larger blue sky file. We're just going to work on this one here. I've got layer 0, which is the warrior picture. And then I have layer 1, which is blue sky. It's good practice to label all of your layers. To make the sky, blue sky, fit the page properly, Control T, and that will put some handles on the corners. Hold the Shift key down and pull one of the corners. It keeps the image in proportion. Don't worry if it pixelates, we'll fix that shortly. So I'm just going to resize this image until I can have covered the original image completely. Double click inside the frame once you've finished and you've got your images here. In the Layers palette, click on the blue sky layer and drag it below the warrior layer, and now you can see you should have your photo on top of the blue sky background. I'm going to now open the red cape file. File, open, red cape, open, drag it away from the top, move it to one side, click on the move tool, drag the cape onto your warrior file, click on OK if the warning comes up. You should now see your red cape here in the top corner. I've got all my files there. Miss Tor is the top layer. I'm going to rename this one red cape. Close the other open file. The layers should be warrior, red cape, blue sky. If they're in the wrong order, just drag them so they're in the correct order, making sure that you are the top layer. So now select the red cape layer, Control T to transform it, hold the Shift key down and pull on one of the corners, double click, Control T again. You can rotate the cape slightly if you want. You can move it and position it into a position that you're happy with. So this time I'm going to go with something a little smaller. Holding the Shift key down keeps the image in proportion. So this time I'm not holding the Shift key down, I'm just moving it around slightly and rotating it a little bit. So Miss Tor now has her red cape on. When you're satisfied with the position, double click inside the frame. We're now going to add the warrior elements. So we need to create a crest, and to do that, make sure you click on the top layer, the warrior layer, because we want to work above that. In the toolbar to the left, find the shape tool, or the rectangle tool it might be called, and then we're going to choose the polygon. I can change the color of the shape up here, so I'm going to stay with red because I think that contrasts nicely with the blue, and I'm going to draw a polygon here. My polygon will have the fill of red and it will have no stroke. Now my polygon has come in, but I'm not happy with its position, so I'm going to Control T. I can rotate it and move it till I'm happy with it. And I can also resize it. I'm going to hold the Shift key in to keep it in proportion, make mine a little smaller, and then just move it to here. So I'm pretty happy with that. Double click inside the frame. I'm going to duplicate this polygon 1 layer by right clicking on it and choosing duplicate layer, and this one I'm going to call polygon 2. You can see that's gone in above. Now it's gone in directly above the other polygon, so I'm just going to slide it out of the way. I'm going to click on the shape tool, change the fill color to blue, and then I'm going to change the stroke color to white, and I'm also going to change the thickness of the stroke, and you can see it there. Using the move tool, move the polygon up into place, lining it back up again with the other original polygon. Control T to transform, hold the Shift key down and make it a little smaller, and then you want to line it up on top of the other one. When you're happy with the position, double click inside the frame. To make editing easier, it's a good idea to link these two layers together. So hold the Shift key down and select Polygon 1 layer and Polygon 2 layer. And then you should be able to right click and link layers. And you can see a chain appears. And that means that those two layers are now joined together. If you wish to undo them, you just unclick or right click and click on Unlink Layers. I'm now going to add in my capital T for tool into the crest. So click on T for text and then click inside your polygon, type your letter. And you can see mine's come through quite small, so I'm going to highlight it and then I'm going to go up into the editing palette up here and choose a font. I'm happy with Arial, so I'm going to stay with Arial, but I'm going to change the size and make it 120 point. Push enter. I'm also going to make sure the color is white. So to get white, I'm clicking right up in the top corner. Okay, go to the move tool, move it to position. My T looks a little small at the moment, so I'm going to Control T to transform it. Holding the Shift key down, I'm just going to pull on one of the corners till I get the size I'm happy with. Move my T into position. When I'm happy, double click inside the frame, and then I'm going to make sure all three layers are linked together. So right click, link layers, and I'm really happy with that. Make sure you file, save, and you'll use that file for your week 6 homework.